Morning, Mr. Mayor. How are you?
Very fine.
Günaydın.
Okay, making a joke, and I will go in English. Okay, thank you. Distinguished guest, Honorable Consul General, I'm extremely to be with you, happy to be with you at our now traditional gathering that we organize before the Christmas and New Year holidays. On behalf of the people of Istanbul, I welcome you all. A few years ago, when we were going through the most difficult times of the pandemic, we all knew that those days would pass. Of course, none of us imagined that we would come out of the pandemic into a global energy crisis and even the possibility of a world war. Such is the world, one can find enough reasons to be hopeful and pessimistic on the planet. I have the frame of mind to believe that we always have more reasons to be hopeful. I believe that with the power of goodness, brotherhood, solidarity, and love, we can achieve success beyond our expectations. Our unforgettable leader Atatürk, the founder of the Republic of Turkey, whose centenary we will celebrate in 2023, expressed his optimism about the future of this country in the following verse. We will go forward together by always relying on the love and trust of the nation. These words actually reveal the basic dynamic of any social progress. Always relying on the love and trust of the nation, deriving power and legitimacy from the nation. We can easily say the same for the world. We can achieve good days not through fear, oppression, or polarization, but through friendship, solidarity, cooperation, and a world order based on trust. You are the professionals who know, see, and implement this reality most closely due to your duties and responsibilities. I'm sure you will agree with my following observation. Istanbul is one of the most important centers in the struggle to establish and sustain a world order based on the love and trust of humanity. Because the ancient history of Istanbul is, in the final analysis, the history of the meeting of civilizations. In other words, it's the history of tolerance. We know the value of this unique feature that has been in Istanbul's DNA for thousands of years, and we are working to manage this city in a way that the worthy of the position it holds both in the hearts of people of this country and the history of the world. I'm not going to tell you what we are doing for a long time. Many of you are already watching, analyzing, and reporting back to your countries through open channels. But to summarize briefly, the municipal model we are building in Istanbul is based on three concepts: democracy, justice, and investment. Democracy, because local democracy is the moral and spiritual cement of coexistence. It's the building block of human development and quality of life. justice, because it is the only way to ensure sustainable peace, tranquility, and solidarity in a city. Investment, because it is the driving force of social and economic development in a city, and it must have a humane, environmentally sensitive, and sustainable perspective. Only with more democracy, more social justice, and more investment can we achieve our goal of making Istanbul a just, green, and creative city. For us, investment is a tool to strengthen the creativity and innovation ecosystem of Istanbul. It is also a tool to enrich the natural, historical, and cultural values of Istanbul by supporting and protecting them. It is a tool to increase the diversity, colorfulness, and inclusiveness of Istanbul's local values, and to set a precedent on the national and international arena. Finally, investment is the means of transforming Istanbul into an even stronger attraction center in every field. With the point of view, we make all our investments in a rational, transparent, participatory manner, and only by taking the public interest into account. Since the day we took office, we have been managing this great city with a rational method, a common mind, and the democratic participation of the citizens. For this reason, our budget has turned into a fruitful one despite the conditions of the pandemic, economic crisis, and war. This is exactly why we have doubled our 2023 investment budget by increasing it by 99% compared to 2022. We are, of course, well aware that there is a direct and very strong connection between the ecosystem and the economic system. The environmental problems we have faced today are a result to the economic growth policies implemented. Therefore, we seek to provide a green solution to fight against the destructive impact of the economic system on the ecosystem. The green solution can only be achieved by taking care of the balance of the ecosystem, aiming at green growth based on environmental sustainability, and through the implementation of economic policies that prioritize the fight against climate change. In light of this, we consider it a vital necessity for our economic policies to be sensitive to environmental priorities in all aspects. We believe that our growth policies should be based on and adapt to the European Green Deal. The great value and priority we attach to environmental investments are fed by these sensitives. Our vision of creating a fair Istanbul is primarily based on the distribution of all the opportunities of this city equally and fairly to 16 million Istanbulites, and ensuring fundamental rights such as the right to education, health, culture, housing, and food. We have taken very important steps on this path, and we continue to do so. Of course, one of the most important elements of social justice is ensuring gender equality. Unless we strengthen the position of women in social life, we cannot ensure fair local development or national development. In order to fulfill the requirements of this determination, which is valid across the whole world, we are implementing a very serious gender equality plan in Istanbul. With more democracy, more justice, and more investment, we are taking big steps every year toward realizing the vision of Istanbul 2050. We have everything we need to make Istanbul a world city in 2050 where life is dynamic and free in all its diversity and where everyone has a high quality of life. Of course, we are also aware that the permanent solution to the problems of a world metropolis like Istanbul depends on global welfare and justice. We also know that the opposite is also true. Peace in Istanbul will bring peace to a large portion of the world. Esteemed Consul General, we know that the bomb which exploded in Istiklal Street a couple of weeks ago caused worry in not only Istanbul and Turkey, but also whole world. Just like how the attacks on Madrid, Paris, London, New York, Brussels, and many others caused worry in Istanbul. Sadly, no country in the world can be sure that there will not be any terrorist attacks again on their soil in the future. In spite of this reality, people of our city do not want to give way to the terrorist agendas, and they do not want to give up their rights to live their everyday lives freely. We know that collaborations between countries and communities will bring us closer in the right direction much faster and more correctly while dealing with terrorism, immigration, and immigrant problems, environmental problems, and other such issues. That is why I would like to express how happy I am that the B40, the local cooperation and solidarity network which we founded between our cities, has doubled in size in less than a year after its establishment. B40 network, founded last November with the initiatives of 23 cities, will have more than 50 members as new cities join in, including Zagreb, after our visit to Croatia at the end of this month. And I will be turning over the term presidency to my dear friend Kostas Bakoyannis during our summit in January in Athens. Distinguished guests, cities will play a key role in building a local and global order that is built on humanitarian love and trust instead of hegemony, oppression, and violence. Istanbul is ready to take responsibility in this regard. I believe you are also ready and willing to share this responsibility. Atatürk's peace at home, peace in the world principle is among our republic's founding values, and it will continue to lead us in the second century of our republic. We represent the belief that diplomacy and cooperation between cities will bring goodness, peace, and prosperity to the world just as much as diplomacy and cooperation between countries. We are building cooperation bonds based on the principles of equality, fraternity, and democracy, not just in the Balkans, but also in Europe, Black Sea, and Middle East. We need advice and support from each and every one of you to build such bonds. I would like to say we are unconditionally open to your suggestions as long as they are in line with these principles. As you know, 2023 is going to be a turning point of Turkey. Our citizens will make an important decision in the upcoming elections. The decision will cause new beginnings in this country, which for more than 200 years witnessed struggles of justice, rule of law, and democracy. We will work to the best of our capabilities for peace, fraternity, unity, justice, and democracy to win. And I believe we will celebrate a result which will be an example to the world and an exhibition of democracy. With such feelings, I wish 2023 to bring peace, tranquility, well-being, and happiness to all of you and your countries. Thank you all for attending our gathering. Happy New Year.